Alright, seems I'm right and live, and that's right. So I just tweeted a tweet, and let's check the Botaniq and Vegetation add-on. So that's what I want to do in the live stream. So I made a render here a while ago. I was playing with it, and let's go to the render. So this is the render, and I want to make this, of course, a bit different, but something like this with the Botaniq and the Vegetation add-on. So let's check what else I want to discuss. So I want to show the render, we did that, and then I show the product pages on Blender Market, and then we compare the library of the assets. And before we build a garden, I explained something about albedo values, brightness, contrast value, exposure. They do something similar, but I show you the difference, and because I use that to correct for example, if you have a tree in your scene and you think, oh yeah, the tree looks a bit too bright or too dark. That happens always, and no matter how good or the add-on is, you always have that thing that you want to adjust your yeah, the brightness or the value exposure, etc. So it will fit better into your Hdri, into the scene. Then that's what I want to show you. And then before I build the garden, something like that, I load first some Quixel assets. That's for calibration, because I know that Quixel assets, they are scanned very well. They have their own unique way of scanning materials. And then we build the garden with the assets, and then I check some things like density of the leaves and the quality of the textures. Maybe we can take a look at the roughness, about the poly count, and how the trees are modeled, and then the user interface. So then we do that. So let's go to the product pages on Blender Market. So let's go to Blender Market, and there I have the two add-ons. So this is the tree vegetation, and the price are quite similar. At the moment, vegetation is 20% off, it says. So there's a new release, version 4. Let's also look, it's published 6 months ago. Let's compare this with Botaniq. So Botaniq is published almost 2 years ago. And I believe the price is approximately the same. So 129 for the full version, and this is 119 for the pro version. So 6 months ago, 800 sales, customer ratings, very good. 6,400 sales, customer ratings, also very good. Yeah, I have both add-ons, and perfect add-ons. Amazing. I could not model all those the trees and plants and rocks, etc. Would take me a few years. So yeah, that's definitely a time saver. So let's look further. So it says here something about how many assets there are, but it's a little bit hard to compare. Anyway, the libraries are huge, so it's amazing. And so that's the Blender Market, so you can compare that one. So one is called Trees and Grass Library Botanic Tree Add-on. The other one is called Vegetation There are more add-ons like that, like Grassveld is very good, but it's too long time ago for me. I tried that, but I know Grassveld are also good. And there is another add-on I'm not very fond of, but those three are very good add-ons. Maybe I forgot some. Let's check. Let's look at trees here. Trees. All right. So yeah, Botaniq. We have some. Oh, yeah. I didn't see this one. I never checked that one. Tree. Let's sort on. Yeah, I believe that's it. All right, so let's go back to the vegetation over there. Let's see what happened over here. My apology. So let's go back over here. Now, next thing I want to show is the library of the assets. Okay. Show the runner. So I want to make something like this. So I'm looking at my chat right now. So if you have questions, you you can go ahead. I can see it here. Sometimes I'm too busy, and then is that I just didn't see it. But I will reply on it if you have questions. So a while ago I was playing around with the add-ons and I want to make something like that, so we can check how that and check the add-ons. All right. So before building a garden, oh yeah, I really need to explain something about albedo values, brightness, contrast, value, and exposure, because yeah, you will see it. So for example, I have a render here. This is just white, that's black, and that's mid-gray. A mid-gray that has a value of 0.18, so 0.18 for RGB. So if we go to compositing nodes, and then there are several ways to correct your texture, but usually it's not done in a good way. For example, let's take a look at simply multiplication. What happens when you multiply? If you multiply by 1, nothing happens, but we see that multiplication is quite safe. It looks like maintains the ratio. What happens here is that the dark colors, the black one, just stays black, and everything got crunched downwards or upwards like that. I'm using here the view transform standard, because if I use filmic, then we see the influence of the view transform. I just want to see the straight what happens with the data here. So that's multiply. Multiply is, yeah, easy to understand, safe to use. Then we have brightness and contrast, and that works a little bit strange, because here I just turned down the brightness a bit, and the black color disappears in the black hole. Really. And if I right click on here, I see values down here in the bar, and you see for R over here, R minus, so it's darker than dark, so it's really literally a black hole. So that works very strange, and I don't know what happened here, what happens there. So the brightness is a little bit strange. Also the contrast, look, if we If you have no contrast at all, that means, look at what happens here. So we have just one value, and the value ends up here somewhere below 80, I believe. But it should be mid-gray. It should end up here at 50, and doesn't do that. So the brightness contrast node, that is, for me, there's definitely another way to correct textures. It will do weird things. If you have noticed, for example, you have wood, you use the brightness contrast node, and you see that the wood, the darker colors, get black and then very red, etc. So no, I think this is no way, no go. Then the exposure, we have seen a while ago multiply, right? Multiply, we crunch the data very nicely. Exposure is doing something similar. Look at that. So you see here, that's the black line, just stays on 0. If we do that, I don't see any, how do you call that? I don't see any logarithmic, I just see a linear, everything, the ratios stay the same. So exposure works very nice, multiply, exposure, actually I think they are the same. Then we go to this node, we have here the value node, and the value does exactly the same. So we call this exposure. See, it's doing exactly the same. Exposure, value here. So this is a safe way to correct, for me, the textures. Then we see a while ago with the brightness contrasts, it really breaks things. But I got this note from the maker of Filmic, I forgot the name, Sobotka, Troy Sobotka, and look at what happens. So power, this is actually the contrast. If we turn down the contrasts, yeah, wait, something is weird. If we turn down the contrast, yeah, we go to -1. So let's say 0. We end up at very close to mid-gray. This is mid-gray. So this works much better than the contrast node. So that was a long story, but that's really important, because if we are going to load trees in our scene, and, no matter how good the add-on is, you want to adjust the values of the texture. And if you do that with a brightness contrast node, you are going to break things. That's my idea. So back to that. So then what I want is I load some Quixel assets, so that's a kind of a reference, because the Quixel has good albedo values. So this is the scene. I think we just deleted the scene, I think. Let me save this, you never know. So I have Botaniq, E, I have to go to the B, scene setup, that's that. Do we need to save something? No. Yeah, we could actually copy the wall over here and maybe the texture over here. Let me remove the that's geometry nodes, so let me delete all those modifiers. Copy that, copy that, copy, new scene. I hope it's not going to crash. All right. Then paste that back. So here I got some Quixel textures on the plane and the wall. Now let's go to the two add-ons. I will show you a little bit. Too many add-ons. We don't have that anymore. So like that. Let's save this. Save this. Scene setup. New. Alright, so we are ready now. So let's take a look at Botaniq. So here is the menu. If you want to look see the menu for with the trees and the plants, etc., you click on spawn asset, and then you can, let me see, you can enable all this. For example, you see a drop down, and then you can check the type, what type you want. There are two types of trees here, coniferous and deciduous, if I pronounce it well. So I click, for example, on the deciduous, and I see all these, but I see all the spring, summer, autumn, winter variants. Maybe I just leave it on summer, so I see the trees. For example, this ash tree has spring, autumn and winter, but those are the same models, but with different settings of the texture. All right, so this is a bit easier. So I think I want to load a lemon tree into the scene. So then I can click make editable, or use Botaniq collection, so it makes a collection over here. Let's load that. The walls are very big, but it doesn't matter, it's just to check. So that looks quite good, because you see here the albedo values of Quixel, and it doesn't look way too off. Often when you load assets into your scene, often you will see the textures are very off. I'll show you an example. I have here, let's go to Banner Market. Oh, I cannot find it. I have a product, EV Materials, and there you can see how that looks like when material is off qua albedo value. But this is okay. We can also load an Hdri. Let's do that. So we go to, I like to use this one. So we have, I like this Hdri. Then, did I add it? So let's go to cycles over here. well, that's not, I don't see many trees over here. Let's load something where we can see trees. Well, it's a bit tricky. Tricky, of course. To compare that in Hdri, but it gives some point of reference. So that doesn't look too bad. Looks like a bit darker, but as I said, it's a bit tricky to compare that in the Hdri because the camera was somewhere in the Hdri, and usually you better use the floor. Alright, so we have that. I go back to Eevee. Eevee over here. Let's now load a tree from the Vegetation Add-on. So there I go to a tree over here, and I can also check. Here you can check one of the categories like that, and that's the same idea, I believe. So let's check another tree, Cherry Summer. Add a tree. All right, that's a little bit a bigger tree. I have to wait a little bit until the shaders are compiled. I don't see. Oh yeah, hey Florian. All right. How are you? So let me check. That looks also very good. So we see that the albedo values, they match very well. Let's also take a look in cycles. Cycles. I will click on here. It's a bit hard to see. Maybe I adjust the color management like that. Put it a bit brighter. And we see it definitely matches. You barely see the difference. Let's remove the walls. Let's hide the walls. So, oh, that didn't work. And the other wall as well. Cube. Let's take a look. So, for me, it's very important when I have a library of assets that it fits well into the scene. At some point, we will see somewhere while we build the garden, we will see that we want to adjust the albedo values. And now let's go back over here, get back the wall, Jerry. Where's my other cube? Like that. I want to load also some plants from Quixel Megascan, because I know that Quixel Megascan, they have the best textures. So it's very hard to compete with them, because they have their own scanning methods. Let's load some Quixel plants. I think I load some Dandelions. So this is a kind of a point of reference. So yeah, I click on that. Let's copy that a few times. I make it a bit bigger because it's not so important for because we are just experimenting. I put a few here next to each other, so I know that this one is from Quixel. And I put some here too. All right. Let's take a look again. So those two cubes. We go to render. Over here, cycles. All right. Yeah. So that definitely matches. I think maybe this tree is a little bit. No, that's also good. So I think that's all good. I hope we find a tree or a plant we need to adjust, because then I can show you a simple node setup to correct the textures. But I don't see a flaw right now. Okay, let's go back. Let's turn this off. On, I mean. Go to here. Let's add some more things. Let's add some. Alright. Here I see ivy. So this is Botaniq. I add some ivy. Ivy, well, I didn't experiment too much, but let's try hanging. I think I need to put my cursor over there. Hanging. Alright. And alright, so that works like that. Press dot, number keypad. How does that work? So R is that control. R is that like that. Grab on X. Grab on X. All right. Let's convert this to editable. Let's see what we can see inside. So this is a leaf. It has 2, 4, 6, 8. Hold on. We do it like this. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 10 quads. All right. And let's add an ivy from the Vegetation Add-on. Tree. Let me see. Where is that? Climber, I think. Climber doesn't plant. Or green wall, hanging plant. Let's check. All right. So hanging plant. I didn't try this. Hanging plant. All right. You know what? I add some text over here because I will forget that. So text. All right. Then I add a tree. I can choose autumn, summer, winter, spring. Summer, we choose summer on the cursor, and I add a tree. All right. Let's go. Select this. Dot on the memory keypad. Grab on the Z. Grab on X. All right. Yeah, we see the same colors coming back, but those are different plants, of course. There's that. Yeah, it's hard to compare because we have two different kind of ivies. All right. Oh, let's load this in cycles as well. Oh, that's nice. Look at that. It looks like, and this one is a bit dark side for my scene, but of course it depends. It's hard to say at the moment, and this could be on the bright side, but no. Looks like it's okay. But let's say we want to adjust the texture. Let's see let's take a look at the materials. Materials. I press home. All right. So here we can. Well, hey Blender boy. Yeah, what I want is to build a garden, and while building the garden, we look at the differences between the add-ons. So this is the vegetation, and if I look at the material, the sliders here, so you can adjust the winter, leaves are gone. Spring looks fresher. Translucent, I'm not going to play with translucent, only if there is something wrong with translucent, but I think the makers of the add-ons know the best settings. Saturate, yeah, that's a very good one. A few saturations, roughness, yeah, handy. Random season. Oh, we have to check. I think I have this one. Let's duplicate that. I think white. Sorry. And if we play with random seasons, yeah, okay, that's good. So we can add random things. That's nice. So that's vegetation, very handy. Then let's go to Polygonic. Let's move this a little bit. Oh yeah, we have that selected. Polygonic. That's another setup. So what do we have here? Okay, so you can adjust the value over here. That's good. Then you can adjust the translucency, vertex color. All right. And that adjusts. All right, yeah, it has no setup, but it seems for the ivy, I think for the trees, do you have maybe something different? Let's check the trees. So this one is from Botaniq. That one, 3. Oh, this is a collection. I'm struggling now because I want to last this one more time. 3 climate. I need glasses. Yeah, this one marble tree. I don't see an option to edit, make it editable, I think. Tree. All right. Am I correct? Oh, this is the vegetation add-on. Now I'm confused. Wait. So, Botaniq. Trees. Let's add a simple tree, small tree, birch. It's not really small. Oh, make editable. Did you see that? Convert to editable. So this is Botaniq. Don't forget it. Ooh. Yeah, so there's quite a difference between the shaders. So this is then the vegetation add-on. So you have these settings over here. So that's user-friendly. Spring. I think but don't touch the translucency. This may be handy. The roughness also handy, yeah. And this is very nice. Random seasons. So, but if you go to the Botaniq, yeah, then you have to be familiar with the node setups. This one is a good one. You can adjust the brightness of the, make it darker. So let's delete that one. No, let's build. Yeah, this shader looks very handy. Let's check with this tree. Oh yeah. Oh, look at that. Hilarious. Let's check out the cycles. Yeah. Yeah, both add-ons are different. I think Botaniq has a very big library, I think. It's been a while ago I checked that. Well, we look at the differences. So we have here the tree. And somewhere we should see the snow. Let's play. I'm going back to over here. Oh yeah, Now we see some moss over here. Very good. Smart, huh? Yeah, nice. Yeah. So this is the vegetation add-on. That one, very nice shaders. Botaniq. There you have the. I have to make it editable. Ah, here. Botaniq convert to editable. Oh, this is actually nice. Scatter assets. So Botaniq has scatter assets. That's good. How does a tree hold up and close up? All right. Which one? Both add-ons? Yeah, let's look at close up. So this is, let me write this down. Actually, I think I need to load similar trees. Let's do that. Let's do that. So let's remove that. We go to the vegetation. We are going to load a tree. Let's load something we can find. I just like an oak tree like that. Just a simple tree. Yeah, American beech. Let's see. A tree, summer, cursor. All right. So let's copy this text over here. So that is the vegetation add-on. All right. Ah, shaders compilation. I hope I'm not getting a crash. Ah, yeah. So grab on X. So that's American beech. Let's go to Polygonic. Botaniq, sorry. Then beech. All right. Which one? I think maybe something like this. Make editable, yeah. All right. Show some bigger. Make a tiny bit similar like that. Okay, Shift D on the Y. X. Oh, my caps lock is on. I'm going to remove my caps lock key. Or, slightly different colors, but yeah, there are different beech trees, different types, so that's very hard to say. Let's check this in cycles. We are in Hdri, and it looks like at first sight this tree turns out a little bit dark, and this one fits nice into the Hdri. But as I said, that is a bit tricky, because I think you always have to look very close to the floor. Very good. That's very good. I think this is too dark. But yeah, maybe there are different trees. Let's see what happened with the shader. Can we turn on up the value a bit? Oh, wait, we have to go to the leaves. To the leaves. Base color is turned up already. So I think the textures are just quite dark. Oh yeah. So yeah, hey Mas. Yeah, I noticed that. I think some textures are a bit dark. Mas likes vegetation more. So yeah, I see the textures indeed dark. So I have to turn up the value over here. So let's see if that helps a little bit. Turn off this overlay. Yeah, I think you know, I need to get more. Maybe sometimes it's the translucency that makes it darker. See if this is a mix between translucency and diffuse. If I turn up the translucency, it's very dark. So we can check that, but that's quite some work. Alright, so I had to turn up the value, albedo value of that. Sorry, over here somewhere. Alright. Nice thing is that I see scatter assets, Botaniq, go to vegetation, over here. And animation, yeah, that's nice. Personally, I'm not going to animate trees because for vegetation I always need cycles. To render on cycles, then I render like 8 minutes per frame, and I think I'm not going to make animations in cycles. But that's very nice. We can check that. So animated trunk, animated leaf, scale, let's run this. Alright, yeah. It's quite happy to load, so I think I tried it once, it was nice. Render presets as well. So we found out in that one about the albedo values. Now I want to show you if ever you have a texture, no matter from what add-on. For example, I take now this one. So if ever you want to change it, my favorite way to change to correct textures, it's very tricky, but this is a simple and fast way. I always do that. So I put this node, color mix, then like this, and here put as a multiply. Then I feed the color output, so you go right before the how do you call it, the principled base color. Look at right before you put this node group right before the principal base color. So and then you put this. Usually I put that on orange like that, turn up all the way up, and then I can mix, because usually when you get textures, often they are too blue, like the white balance is not good. So and then you can play with the value, you can adjust the value a bit, as we've seen earlier in the stream. Oh, man says 3D shaker assets. Oh, I didn't try that. I'll check 3D shaker. And then this is a safe way to adjust the value. We've seen a while ago, earlier in the live stream, that playing with contrast and brightness is not a good idea because that breaks often the values of the texture. And then if the texture is too blue, what happens sometimes, I can just turn on this multiplied orange. I've seen that a while ago somewhere with a stone. So I forgot which add-on it was. I think it was Vegetation. So I go to a rock. I go to rock and I add a summer rock over here. Add cursor. And yeah, to my taste, for this garden, the rock is done to bluish, like that. So, and then I go, oh, that's very nice also, huh? Snow, we make it dirty. Dirt, here, orientation of the dirt. Say I want it here. I lost it. Ah, here it is. Alright, I want stones very rough. I don't like specularity. Yeah, I want to adjust the color of this one. So this is the texture, so I can plug my favorite node group in there. So mix RGB color, what was it? Hue saturation. Plug that in here. Put this in multiply. Put it a bit orangey. Put this up. Plug this in here. That one over there. Then shader compilation. See, save dirt, earth digitally. Alright, so my rock looked a bit bluish, and then if I do that, I can adjust it to the I don't know, maybe I call it white balance or something. Here, I think this is a good color. If texture looks too blue, then can add a bit of that. And then if it's too bright, you play with this value settings. That's safe, much safer than brightness and contrast. Alright, I think for this scene, the stone looks a bit on the bright side. So I turn this down a little bit and maybe like that. And so that is vegetation. Let's bring this to vegetation. Let's see if Botaniq also has rocks. Rocks, yeah. Also rocks. I think that was then a basalt key because the color looks a bit the same. Basalt. Oh, GPU GTX 1080 Ti. I got one. I cannot afford an RTX yet. So, shift that. My CPU is very low. my shader compilation works with oh, X, yeah. I still have to try that one. I'm a bit of an Eevee freak actually. So when I render with Eevee, I render like a 2 seconds or 3 seconds frame. This looks again darker, but for this scene it's nice. Only I want to have it more alright. So this is not really a user-friendly setup. So I go back to this rock. There I copy my node setup. Copy. I go back to this one and then paste it. So I grab that and I plug this right in here. Shader compilation on the CPU. 1080 and 1060. Oh, and well, how long a frame takes usually? Let's say a scene like this. How long will that take you to run around, let's say, 500 samples? All right, so we have that. Let's say I want to make it a bit brighter. And indeed, something like this. So this simple node setup, I think that's the safest way to adjust textures. Let's make big like that. Oh, what happens here? So there must be a modifier on it. All right, 15 seconds. Oh yeah, wow, that's indeed fast. Let's look at the libraries. So this is Botaniq. So we have coniferous, deciduous. Yeah, look, huge library. Flowers. So this is Botaniq, flowers, garden comes in handy, yeah. Grass, also handy. Grass, ivy. Super library, yeah. Super library, I mean, with that, I mean a big library. Pods. Rocks. Shrubs. Botaniq shrubs. Cactus. Tropical. Like leaves and weed. Use library. Botaniq has, but I think the textures are a bit on the dark side, and if I load an asset, I need to adjust it with my simple node setup, like what I show you over here. So you add this if you want to adjust the texture, and then let's take a look at the vegetation at the library. So we have climbers. All right, and climbers. We have desert plant, cactus, yeah. Garden plants. Alright, yeah, I see this one for the garden. Looks also like the vegetation is more focused on garden, I think. Garden, green wall. I like these also. Also pots. Oh no, they look nice. Rocks, shrub. Oh, okay. Thanks for letting me know. So lightweight, all right. Okay, shrubs, stump, right. Trees, trees, good. Also a huge library. Let's look at the tree, at the poly count, etc. If we can do that. So this is vegetation. I select all. Let me see. A face. How do I count? So I can count faces or the trees. Let's count first then. 373,000. Let's look at the density. This is quite dense with leaves, especially for a forest. If you see trees in a forest, the leaves, when you look at a tree, and the tree almost looks like empty. Some places it's quite dense. Let's take a look at that. Select all. This one has less first, so let's say 200,000. 200,000. Go over here. This one has let's say 350,000. Let's look at modeling. All right, so we see here Polygonic is doing it this way. All right. And vegetation. Approximately the same. Looks the same technique. All right. Yeah, what I think is the maybe this tree is a bit denser. I need a new PC. So select the tree, go in addon mode. I cannot find it. All right. So, yeah, I think this looks a bit more empty. A bit more space in trees, I think. So I think maybe for woods, you can better use this for woods, and use this better for gardens, I think. Not sure. I can't see it well. But yeah, looks like, for example, all right, 1 or 2 million trees. That's a lot. All right, I think we've seen a lot of difference. Density of leaves, it's a bit hard. Yeah, I wanted to build a garden, but that's it takes a lot of time. But we did some comparison with the textures. So overall, both add-ons have a huge library. I think the Botaniq has a bigger library, but both libraries are very big enough, surely. Then the textures of Botaniq seems to be on the dark side, and when you load an asset, you want to adjust the textures in a safe way. I showed you that in the live stream, how I would do that. I see people doing that with brightness and contrast, but I think that will break the textures a lot. Then the quality of textures, yeah, we can take a look at that. So we go over here. Oh, that's the wrong one. We go over here. We go to the material. We look for leaf vagus. Go over here. Image editor. We look for leaf vagus diffuse. Well, let's see. Yeah, this is not the albedo texture. Well, that's very hard. People cannot make albedo textures because we see the highlights already in the shadows. But and that's the case with almost every add-on. I didn't see any add-on that has textures like Quixel. And let's take a look at that one. Leaf 003. Leaf 003, and the texture is blah, map number 11. So image editor, map number 11. This is different, yeah. But I see also the they say that specular reflections, I think I call it. And I think that must be a shadow, yeah, those shadows. All right. Yeah, as I said, that's with every add-on, no matter what you look for. So extreme PBR. Yeah, if you look, for example, at Quixel, you go to albedo, QLC, okay, image editor, we look for QLC is there. So this is called albedo, and there you don't see the shadows. You don't see the shadows and no highlights. They have a separate thing for that. No, all right. So this roughness, normal opacity. Let's see. All right. So I think we covered almost everything. Shade editor. What do I want? Poly count. That's hard to say, but I think which one was lighter? Oh, yeah, Botaniq was a bit lighter, quite poly count, I think. And then the user interface, they look very similar. Let's look at the user interface. Yeah, this thing I don't like much. It has a button, spawn asset, so you have to click on that. Whereas if you go to vegetation, you have immediately this one. You can choose drop down and then select your asset. Botaniq, you have to first click this button and then drop down and then you click that. And that's that. But Botaniq has scatter assets, and you can scatter your asset. Let's take a look how that works. So let's go to spawn asset. I go to grass, of course. Grass, and then I want basic grass. Okay, and then I think I have to do this one. So select grass, select plane, I suppose. Ah yeah, target plane, good. What's that? Draw fine, no. Scatter assets. Oh, oh no, it has a separate menu. So I can click grass. Basic. Then okay. Oh, that's a lot. Oh, and then that's nice. I like that. So those are a lot. Maybe I bring it down. So that's then nice. Yeah, both add-ons have the pros and cons. I think let's try to use cycles, compare that. Cycles, all right. So let's look at let's load that. Looks, I think, a bit on the dark side, but leaf. Let's select that one. Oh, but this one has a custom menu. So I can fresh. Oh, that's good. So I'm going back here. Then convert to editable. Then the value. Oh, right. All right. Yeah. This what you want actually for all the assets. All right. Yeah. So we see quite some differences. All right. See you later, Mas. All right. So I think we checked it out a little bit more the UI. So we have that Botaniq. We have scatter assets, let's turn it off. Convert to editable, randomize variant. Yeah, if you have several trees like that, let's remove this particle. So T on X, a randomized variant. Oh, okay. Not sure what or random transform. Oh yeah. So you can randomize the assets. Grab that, set up the ground. Alright. 5 missing files, so that's that. We have also wind animation. Add wind animation. Botaniq, ooh, that's a lot. Also presets. So let's try a storm. Okay. Well, it's a bit too heavy in scene, so I will pause it. Pause. Oh, come on. Oh, and now I'm playing again. Can I click this on? Oh. So I'm streaming and animating a Hdri at the same time. So that was Botaniq, Vegetation. So we had that, we had the whole library. We can check for only the autumn variants, winter, like that, for every oh no, yeah, for some, so I think for the plants tree. All right, it's the same model, but it's a variety of the of the setting of the texture. Okay, you can also animation add tree. Snap tree to ground also. And we can also randomize. Let's say it should be on the y-axis. My PC is slow. Randomize. All right. Very good. Yeah. I think I covered it all. Right, then thanks for watching. And have fun with the add-ons if you're going to try them. All right. Have a good time.